Something else that I think is great. I love this. She said, inner harmony is essentially spiritual. And inner harmony can also be translated to outward harmony. And this was like a Socrates prayer, which, like, who's out there just quoting Socrates? But I loved this. May the outward and inward man be one. And underneath I wrote that, untangle your mess. And I loved that because I talk about that in my teaching of like, in coaching of where are you and where do you want to be? Or where are you and who are you? I think that's always better because sometimes we think what our vision is and we think that's what we want. But then when we really get back to that heart center place that stings, we're like, oh, the roadmap was already here. I didn't have to work so hard. But it was taking in all that other shit over and over and over again that convinced me that it was something else when really I've known all along, right? And so it's really, that's what this idea of living in alignment is, and getting to that place where your vision is clear and where you can continue to simplify in order to magnify. You can get to that place faster. You can go through faster because you're aligning who you are on the inside with what your life is like on the outside. And one would be shocked at how hard that is. I mean, that's the other thing. It's like, you would think these things, like in principle, it's like, okay, this sounds pretty easy, and knock a couple things off the list and get to the gym and everything will be great. But it's almost like the more you simplify, the more you realize how much shit you've been holding on to. Right? Like it's almost, I sometimes don't like talking about like clean eating and diets and shit like that because, food is a big one for everybody, but just stay with me on this one. It's almost like if you do start to quote unquote eat clean, like now I feel like I used to, because I was hungover all the time, you're eating so much processed food, and sometimes processed food tastes good, right? Like there is a time and a place for it, sure, I think, at least a balance, right? But when you start to peel back and you're eating whole foods, and you're eating foods from, not Whole Foods trademark, but just whole foods in general, and you're eating like root vegetables and greens and things that come from the earth, there's this uncovering more and more and more, and it almost changes your body makeup. You can feel the way in which your body adapts and changes to things that feel good, and how many times you can click that dial to feel better and better and better. And that's a weird place to be. That's a lot of this simplified and multiply, that when you start to multiply, sometimes you're like, well, this is fucking weird, right? Because then we get to this place of, I'm happy, now what? And even if that's, you don't struggle with, a lot of us grew up in a place of chaos. That's what we're used to. And so when things aren't chaotic, when you create this sense of abundance for yourself, that is quiet, that is inner peace, that's outer peace, right? Even if you didn't come from those backgrounds, it's weird, because what do we do when we get with people? Oh, here's the thing that's not going right. Oh, we got stuck at the airport. Oh, so-and-so's got this going. Oh, so-and-so's bothering me. Oh, so-and-so's. Right? Like I struggle with that sometimes. Like when people, it's almost like, you're at a dinner party and like everybody complains and it gets to you and you're like, yeah, shit's hard, right? Like you don't, like I don't want to be obnoxious where I'm like, actually, I feel like I've chosen my heart, and so it's just kind of like daily stuff. But like, really, I'm feeling pretty good, And so it is. You will be surprised at how much, again, the shape of my life is, and I want to feel that. When you begin to feel that way, you can actually dial it up more and more and more and more, right? So, and I love this. Okay, so the shape of my life, or the frame of my life, right? If the frame of your life does not foster simplicity, that's something that we have to look at, right? So for instance, she says, and again, this was written in 1955, okay? Like, wow. I mean to lead a simple life, to choose a simple shell that I can carry easily, like a hermit crab, but I do not. I find that my frame of life does not foster simplicity. My husband and 5 children must make their way in the world. The life that I've chosen as a wife and a mother entertains an entire caravan of complications. It involves a house in the suburbs and either household drudgery or household help, which wavers between scarcity and non-existence for most of us. It involves food and shelter, meals, planning, marketing, bills, and making ends meet in 1,000 ways. It involves not only the butcher, the baker, and the candlestick maker, but countless other experts to keep my modern house with its modern simplifications: electricity, plumbing, refrigerators, gas stove, oil burner, dishwasher, radios, cars, and a number of other labor-saving devices functioning properly. It involves health, doctors, dentists, appointments, medicine, cod liver oil, vitamins, trips to the drugstore. It involves education, spiritual, intellectual, physical, schools, school conferences, carpools, extra trips for basketball or orchestra practice, tutoring, camps, entertainment, camps equipment, and transportation. It involves clothes and shopping, laundry, cleaning, mending, letting skirts down, 1955, and sewing buttons on, or finding someone else to do it. It involves friends, my husband's, my children's, my own, and endless arrangements to get together, letters, invitations, telephone calls, transportation, hither and yon. Again, this was written in 1955. Here we go. For life today in America is based on the premise of ever-widening circles of contact and communication. It involves not only family demands, but community demands, national demands, international demands on the good citizen through social and cultural pressures, through newspapers, magazines, radio programs, political drives, charitable appeals, and so on. My mind reels with it. What a circus act we women perform every day of our lives. It puts the trapeze artist to shame. Look at us. We run a tightrope daily, balancing a pile of books on our head. Baby carriage, parasol, kitchen chair, still under control. Stay steady now. Steady. So, I hope you're lit up, even though I can't read, because I was just like, yeah, again, that she felt that overwhelmed in 1955. How do you create a life of simplicity in order to multiply the things that you want and whatever that means to you when life is chaotic? And now we live in a world where, like, you don't even have to like go to the picture shows, see the newsreel at the beginning of it. You wake up, you pick up your phone and you open it and it's just like, that's all social media is. You open it and every single reel you go to is just somebody screaming at you, right? Or somebody just like singing a folk song in their mirror. That's it. Okay? Maybe a cooking tutorial, one or two, but that's it.